This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. This is Sunil. Welcome to this DevOps session. Can you hear me? Please confirm. Thank you, Dinesh, Prashant, Chanakya. Thank you very much. Hi, Asif. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Thank you. Thank you. So, did you started practicing Linux?
Yes.
Okay. So, any questions on the previous class?
That long list only
Okay.
that
Long
you are
list
going
anyways will be
to
starting.
tell us today, no?
Perfect.
Uh,
Okay. Hi, Prashant. How are you? Can you hear me? Hi, Satyam. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, Satyam,
Yes, sir.
do you know Linux already, or is it something new you're learning?
Sir, this is not new for me, but I have started practicing again.
Very good.
Yes,
What
sir.
about Prashant?
I've actually started practicing it. I was yesterday practicing the same while you were teaching as well.
Perfect. Day to day, please practice. Okay, so don't postpone. Hmm? Whatever we are learning, practice on the same day. Okay, so that's the right way of learning. Okay, never postpone it. Clear? Karthik, any questions? Munir, welcome to the session. How are you?
So far no questions in it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, Sunil.
Gauri Raj. Yeah, thank you, Munir. Okay, so this is our plan for our today's session. Please have a look at this. What did we discuss in the last session? Chanakya, we have learned how to create files, how to remove files, how to create directories, how to remove directories, how can we change, isn't it? How can we change the path from one location to other location, is it?
Yeah, yes, Sunil.
Am I right? So these are
Yes,
the concepts what we have learned in our previous session. So today's session, we are learning other concepts. We have something called long list. What happens when a file name starts with dot? How to see hidden files, how to create a hidden directory, combination of options, how to copy files, list the files based on timestamp, how to know the current user, understanding the prompt, how to switch from one user to other user, the importance of the super user do command, working with dates, working with calendar. Important is understanding the file permissions. So this is our plan for our today's session. So without any delay, let's proceed. Chanakya, I want to connect to this Linux machine using git bash, not putty. I want to connect to this Linux machine using git bash. I hope you know, similar to putty, we have one more terminal called git bash.
Git bash.
How can we do that?
Yeah, first of all, we need to go to PIM file location in our local
Location
Windows.
where the PEM file. So what is a PEM? What is a PEM file name for this Linux machine? How to know?
Mm,
There are a lot of PEM files available, Chanakya, in the F drive
yes.
Sunil folder. So here there are a lot of PEM files. Okay. So what's the PEM file name which I have used for creating this Linux machine? How can we know it?
In the description, we may find the below. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, here. Keypair name
Here is nothing but a file with extension dot
K
Linux
Linux
kp18.
KP18.
Or
Yes.
if you click on connect command, that connect command contains the PEM file,
Yeah.
Chanakya.
Oh, yeah, this is
So
simple.
the PEM file is Linux kp18.pem. So do you have Linux kp18? So this is the PEM file, is it? We don't need a ppk file. PEM file is enough. Okay. So right click, open git bash from this location. Are you understanding? You need to open the terminal from the location where the PEM file is available. Then run the what command? The complete
Full
SSH
HSS
command.
command. That's it.
Are you sure you want to connect? Done. I have connected to the expression. Okay. Clear, Chanakya?
Yeah, that's it.
How to see list of all the files?
Command ls.
Are there any files right now?
No, nothing.
No files. I want to create a file. Which command, Chanakya, is used to create a file? What is the
Cat
command used for creating a file?
background.
Cat command is used for creating a file, isn't it? Now today I will show you one more command for creating a file, that is called list. So first I'll create a file using a cat command. I want to create a file with the name f1. We already have seen this, so I'll not waste much time. Cat, use of symbol greater than symbol followed with the file name. Write the contents into the file, and how to come out of the cat command we already have seen it. Please practice. Don't think that these commands are very easy commands, so we don't need to practice. You can remember. It's always good to practice and explore more. Okay, so let's do it. Cat, I want to create a file with the name f1. File gets created, control will enter into the file, so I'll write the contents. Morning. Welcome to DevOps. Thank you. Some 3 lines of content I'm writing. How to come out of the cat command? Control D is used to come out of the cat command. I'm done with creating the file f1. So if you write ls, you'll get the file f1. I'm done with creating the file f1. In Linux, we can also create a file by using touch command. One way to create the file by using the cat command we have discussed in the last session. We can also create a file by using the command touch command. I want to create a file f2. The name of the file which I want to create is f2 by using the touch command. Creating a file using touch command is very simple. Touch followed with the file f2. File gets created. Touch f2. File got created, done. I want to create file f3. Touch f3. File got created. Now I want to see list of all the files ls. How many files you get? f1, f2, f3. Are you getting f1, f2, f3? Yes. So in how many ways you can create a file? As of now, 2 ways. One is file cat command, the other one is touch command. Chanakya, what is the difference? Have you observed when you're creating the file by using the touch command?
Yeah, here we can't write any content.
Yes, you're right. If you experience the behavior, if you're creating a file by using cat command, the file gets created immediately. Control is entering into the file. Immediately control enters into the file. You are writing the contents into the file, and using control D command, you are coming out of the file, and then you get the prompt back. That's the behavior of cat command. Whereas when you create a file by using the touch command, immediately file gets created. The next next second, the dollar prompt is back. That means when you create a file by using the touch command, these files are called as empty files. Empty files. So touch command is used to create a empty file. Touch command is used. Okay. Touch command is used to create what files? There is no data in it. Files are empty. Okay, fine. So we have learned how to create an empty file by using the command called as touch command. Touch command. Perfect. Next, coming to the first point of our agenda, long list. Now ls command will show you a list, that's it. Ls command will give you a list of all the files. I want more information about not just file names. I want to know the date and time when the file has been created, the file size, what is the size of the file, date and time when the file has been created, who has created this file. This kind of more information I want to get. If you want to get more information, then we need to use a long list. ls-l. L stands for long list. Long list will provide you more information about the file. How many files you are having? How many files we are having? 3 files. Please observe the result. Are you getting F2, F1, F2, F3? Yes. Same 3 files you're getting, but you're getting more information. Look at this. You're getting more information about the file. You may have a question, sir, can you explain what is this? Sunil, can you explain what this information is all about? Yes. In long list, you can see date and time when the file has been created. Interesting. Very good. Am I right? So date and time when the file has been created. What is 41? What is 41? Size of the file. Yes, you are right. Size of the file. The file F1 is how much size? 41 bytes. Do you remember F2 and F3 is created by using what command? F2 and F3 are the files created by using what command? Touch command. As I told you, touch creates what file? Empty file. So the file size is what? 0. Empty. As I told you, empty, na? It's 0. That's the reason the size is 0. That's a proof that it's an empty file. This Ubuntu is nothing but the owner of the file. Who created this file? Ubuntu is a user. Using the Ubuntu user, we have created the file. This is nothing but the group the file belongs to. Group we'll discuss later. This is the owner of the file. This is the group that file belongs to. And these are links. Links, you don't need to worry about this. If required, we'll discuss later. This is more important. These are permissions of the file. These are the permissions of the file. So are you getting more information about a file? If you want to get more information about the file, you need to use -L option, stands for long list. Normal ls will just give you file names. If you want more information about the file, then you need to use ls-l. Okay, clear about this? Now, I want to create a directory. I want to create a directory. Akhil, we already have learned how to create a directory. We have a command called mkdir. Perfect. Yes. We have a command called mkdir which helps you to create a directory. I want to create a directory. That's fine. Let's do it. Name of the directory is d1. Directory got created. Now ls one directory and 3 files. One directory, 3 files. In the last session, we have discussed this point. How to identify which one is a file and which one is a directory. How to identify which one is a file and which one is a directory. Gopi, as of now, how can we identify which one is a file and which one is a directory? Gopi?
Hello.
Yes, Gopi.
Yeah, based on the color we are in.
Based on the color. As of now, we are identifying based on the color. Assuming the terminal is not supporting the colors, everything is black and white, then how can we identify which one is a file and which one is a directory? See, ls-l will provide you more information about the files as well as directories. Directory D1, as you can see, date and time when the directory has been created. This is the size of the directory, 4096 bytes. 4096 bytes. And one important point, these are some permissions related to file. Okay. Next point. Look at the first character in ls-l. First character D. In long list, if the first character starts with D, it is a directory. Very, very important, Sandhya. If the first character starts with D, it's a directory. If the first character starts with hyphen, it is a file. Bharat, now you know, even though the terminal is not supporting the colors, how you know how to identify which one is a file and which one is a directory by using ls-l. Clear? Clear about this? Any questions, Ananya?
No, Sunil.
Perfect. So now you know what do you mean by long list? So long list provide more information about date and time when the file has been created, size of the file, permissions of the file, owner of the file. This kind of more information you get it using LSI. Yes, Dinesh.
Wait. Sorry, Sunil, by mistake it got unmuted.
Okay. Okay. Let's proceed. Any questions?
Yes, Sunil.
Vikas?
Yeah. Can we sort the file based on the time criteria or
Yes,
naming convention?
we can do that. This is the
Okay.
option to see the files according to the timestamp.
Okay.
Let's proceed. Vikas, can we create a file by using a touch command as we just learned? Yes, we can do this, isn't it? Okay.
Yep.
Now, Vikas, let's clear the screen. Clear is a command to clear the screen. I want to create a file with the name .f10. File name should be .f10. So can I do it by using the touch command? Yes, why not? We know this. Whenever you want to create a file, you can do it by using cat command or touch command. I just want to create an empty file. touch touch .f10 is a command which helps you to create a file. Let's run this command. File got created. ls to see list of all the files, because please observe here. F1, F2, F3, D1. Are you creating the file which are you able to see the file which we have just created?
No.
No. In Linux, whenever your file name starts with dot, it is a hidden file. When a file name starts with dot, it is a hidden file. Similarly, if a directory name starts with dot, it is a hidden directory. mkdir dot d5 directory got created, no doubt. ls, you will not see the directory because it is a hidden directory. If a file name starts with dot, it's a hidden file. If a directory name starts with dot, it's a hidden directory. ls will show you normal files. If you want to see hidden files and hidden directories also, you want to see normal files along with the normal files like F1, F2, F3, you want to see the hidden files and hidden directories also. In that case, you need to use ls-a. A stands for all. Kailash all stands for all the files. All the files are nothing but the normal files as well as the hidden files. Please look at the output. Yes, you get mono. Oh my god. There are a lot of default directories and default files up to here. But are you able to get the .f10 which we have just created? Yes. Are you able to get .d5 which we have created? Yes. Are you able to see the hidden files, and there's some predefined hidden directories and hidden files? But are you able to see the normal files as well as hidden files? Yes. By using -a option, A stands for all, stands for normal files as well as hidden files. Okay, now you know 3 listing options. Now you know 3 listing options. One is a regular ls file, will show you normal list of all the files. ls-l long list will give you the date and time, permissions, size of the file, and all those. You know, ls-a will give you a list of all the files as well as hidden files. We can use a combination. ls-la. We can use a combination ls-la. What happens, Ananya, if I use ls-la? Can you guess the result of this command?
It provides both the outputs of long list and all.
Yes. You get the more information about date and time, file size, permissions of the normal files, as well as hidden files, as well as directories. Look at this. So you can use a combination of options. You're getting more information about the file, date and time when the file has been created, size of the files. For normal files, as well as hidden files and hidden directories, you can use the combinations. Clear? You can use the combinations, and combination can be anything. You can write ls-la or ls-al. You can use any option first. It's up to your comfortability. Output will be the same. Clear? So now you know what happens when a file name starts with dot. You know when a file name starts with dot, it's called as a hidden file. And you also know how to see hidden files by using -a option. You know how to create a hidden directory. You can use a combination of ls commands. Perfect. So this is about the hidden file informations. Next, how to copy a file. F1 is a file. What is the information in this file F1? I think we have 3 lines of content, right? Hello, good morning, and welcome to DevOps. So some information we have it in the file F1. How can I see the information? Ananya, how can I read the information in the file F1?
By using the VI editor or even with the cat command.
So I want to do it by using the cat command F1. Yes, you can read the contents in the file. So we have a file F1, and I want to copy the contents. I want to copy this file F1 to something like F6. So whatever the contents I have it in file F1, I want to have it in F6. Do you have F6 available? No, file F6 is not there. I want to copy this. I want to create a new file F6 and the content should be the same as F1. I want to copy from F1 to F6. So we have a command called CP, stands for copy. Provide source, provide destination. Source from which file you want to copy? F1 space. Destination to which file you want to copy? F6. Do you have F6? We don't have F6 file. No problem. File gets created. File gets created automatically and the content is copied from F1 to F6. Done. Now if you see ls or you see F6, can you read the information in F6? Cat F6. Copying the file, done. How to see list of all the files according to the timestamp? What do you mean by according to timestamp? The latest file should be at the top. Let's say you're creating some 10 files. Here we are having how many files? How many directories? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 files and 1 directory. I want to see list basing on the timestamp. Timestamp is nothing but latest file. What is the latest file? F6 is the latest file, which we have just created using the copy command. Latest file should be at the top. Oldest file should be at the bottom. Whenever you want to arrange the rows, arrange the files basing on the timestamp. ls-lt. Because observe the latest file F6 you're getting at top. Am I right? The oldest file F1 is we are getting it at the bottom. You are able to successfully sort the files basing on the date and time when the file has been created. Am I right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Any questions, Kailash?
Do we have any other sorting options? Like, show me the files, show me the directories, all different kind of things. Or
Yeah. We got a lot of options. Okay. So let's proceed. Any questions, Sudhir?
Hello,
Yes,
Sunil
Ashwin.
actually. Can we sort through the size as well? I mean, based on the file size or direct size?
We can do that. Okay. Sudhir, any questions?
Should we sort them in a reverse manner? Like F1 is first and F6 will be last one.
We can do that. But generally, we use LTR. There are a lot of options in the ls commands. I'll share you the document where you can see list of all the options. Okay. Okay. Any more, Sudhir? Clear about the concepts? Do you know, Sudhir, Linux, or is it the first time you've done it?
Yeah, I have some basic commands. I know that,
If you already know
but
some
not in
basic.
depth. Yeah, some basic. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Sandhya, any questions?
Yeah, actually, like we have copied the file from F1 to F6, right? So F6 was not created, and like the content of the F1 is copied to F6 by creating the F6 file, right? So can we
Yes.
copy, like, can we copy for the existing file like CP F1 to F3, where
Yeah, you
F3 is
can do that.
already
You can, for
okay
example,
then.
F2 is already there. Same command used with the existing file. F2 is already empty, I think so, isn't it? F2 is empty, 0
Yeah,
bytes. So you can copy it.
yeah.
Same thing.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And Sunil, how do we copy the file in the different directory?
Mention the path.
Okay, so F1, CD, D1, F6, something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's proceed. Now we are working with Linux. We are working with Linux. But I want to know using which user I'm currently working with. I'm connected to Linux. Using which user I'm connecting. Whenever you want to know the current user using which you are working with Linux, then we have a command called who am I. Who am I is a command which show you the current user. Currently I'm working with which user? Ubuntu user. Good. So you know the current user. You know the current path. Where are you currently working with? You're currently working with /home/Ubuntu. So who am I is a command which shows you the current user. Fine. Okay. So what is the current user? Ubuntu. Every Linux command comes with a root user. Every Linux machine comes with which user? Currently I'm working with which user? Currently you are working with Ubuntu user, but I want to work with root user. Every Linux machine comes with a root user. Root user a high level user. Root user is a high level user. It's something like an admin user. Every Linux machine comes with a root user. Even this Linux machine which we have connected is coming with root user. But right now I'm working with which user? Ubuntu user. Now what I want to do, I want to switch. I want to switch from one user to other user. I want to switch from the current user to root user. What is the current user? Ubuntu user. I want to switch to root user. Yes, you can switch by using the command called su, stands for switch user. Switch user is a command which helps you to switch from one user to other user. To which user you want to switch to? I want to switch to root user. So look at the command su followed with the username you want to switch. Root. When you want to switch, you need to mention to which user you want to switch to. I want to switch to root user. When you run this command, you will switch from one user to other user. You already know that the current user which we are working with is Ubuntu. I want to switch to root user. The command is su followed with the username which you want to switch. Root. Enter. It's asking for the password. If one user wants to switch to other user, obviously you should know the password. That's the security. Otherwise, you cannot switch. Anytime when you want to switch from one user to other user, you have to know the password. Without password, you cannot switch. Do you have the password for the root user? No, we don't have it. So if you press enter, authentication failure. Okay, now you know how to switch from one user to other user by using the switch user command, and you also know that when you want to switch, obviously you need to know the password. Without password you cannot switch it. Okay, this is switching from one user to other user. Next, most important, switching from one user to other user. This is the importance of sudo. I want to discuss about the importance of sudo. My requirement is to switch to root user. My requirement is to switch to root user. We already know FIAS that we can switch to other user, no doubt, but if you know the password. Definitely you can switch by using switch user command, but if you know the password. Even though I don't have the password now, but still I want to switch to root user. So whenever you want to run this command at any cost, we don't have the password root, but still I want to switch to root user at any cost. So in that case, if you want to forcefully run this command, you need to prefix the word sudo. Before the command, use the word sudo. Sudo stands for super user do. It's a keyword. When you prefix the word sudo before a particular command, at any cost, that command gets executed, and you will be successfully switched to root user. Let's experience it. Same command, if I'm prefixing with the word sudo, is it prompting for password? Is it prompting for password? No, it's not prompting for password. It has successfully executed. If you want to confirm currently you're working with which user, we have a command, right? To know the current user you are working with, who am I? Currently you're working with which user? Root user. I have successfully shifted from the Ubuntu user to root user without password because you have used a keyword called sudo. Sudo stands for super user do. It's something like running a command with admin privileges. As if like an administrator, the main administrator is running this command, so it gets executed. So sometimes you may not run the command. You may not run a few commands because you may don't know the password or you don't have the permissions, isn't it? But still, at any cost, if you want to run this command, then you need to use a word called sudo. Before a command, prefix the word sudo, which helps you to run the command at any cost. Super user do helps you to switch from one user to other user, even though you don't have the password. That's first point. Next point, the moment you have shifted to root user, next point. The moment you have shifted to root user, observe the prompt is changing to hash prompt. Previously it was what prompt? Dollar prompt. Hash prompt indicates the root user. Rest of all the users will have dollar prompt only. Root user will be indicated with hash prompt. So remember, if you're getting a hash prompt, that means nothing. You don't need to check by the it is a root user. You're working with root user. I want to switch back to Ubuntu user. SU. You're back to Ubuntu user. Why it is not prompting for password? Even though you don't write the sudo keyword, but still it is not prompting for password because root is a high level user. High level user can switch to low level user without a password. From low level user, if you want to switch to a high level user, there's root user, you need to have the password. Clear? So sudo is a keyword which helps you to run any command with admin privileges. Clear about this? In that case, you may have a doubt, sir. Anybody can, Sunil, anybody can use sudo keyword and do whatever you want. Then what's the security? Everybody acts like a root user. You can do everything. Yes. So Ubuntu user is able to use successfully sudo keyword because Ubuntu user is already have a permissions to use sudo. User can run the sudo keyword only when he have the permissions. Let's say if you have created a new user and you are not giving sudo permission, then even though you write sudo, it will not work. Okay, so if a user wants to run a sudo keyword, he should have the sudo privileges, otherwise he cannot do it. Clear about this? So now you know the difference between $prompt and hash prompt. $prompt is a normal user, hash prompt is a root user. You know how to see the current user, and you also know how to switch from one user to other user, and you know the importance of the sudo keyword. Any questions, Rekha? Can you hear me?
Yeah, no questions as of now.
Okay, you already know Linux, or is it the first time you're learning Linux?
Yeah, I have a little bit idea.
Linux. How many years of experience, Rekha, you're having?
1+ in DevOps.
Oh, you're already working in DevOps.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey Sunil, can I ask you something?
Yes.
So I'm not an admin user, but I have the sudo permission or privilege. Are there any restriction which can be applied even then I have the sudo permission?
No. If you have the sudo permissions, that means you're equal to root user. You can do anything. Sorry?
Okay. Okay.
So if an admin trusts you, then he will give you the sudo privileges. Now, if he wants, he can again roll back his privileges, sudo privileges from you. Okay.
Yeah. The other question I was having on the permission on the file and the directory. Sometime the directory is there. It's not a hidden directory. It's visible. You can see the directory name, but you cannot go inside the directory. So how do we do that? Is that something we can do in the Linux?
You don't have a permission to enter into a directory.
Yeah, or I can't open the file. Is that something we can do? File level
Maybe
permission
the
or
owner, maybe they have given a restriction, so nobody should enter it. Okay.
So if I use the
It's not
sudo, then I'll be able to enter.
right. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So you should
Never
have a
mind.
sudo permission if you want to
Okay.
use it. Okay.
And I have one more if you don't mind.
Yes.
So can you put a memory limit, a space limit on any of the directory? And how do we check the memory limit on that directory?
I'm not sure about that. Okay.
Okay.
It's generally done by the Linux administrators, I think so.
Okay.
Even I don't know that. Okay, Vikas?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Thanks, Sunil.
Next. How to get the current date? How to know the current month? We have a date command will print you the current date. We have a cal command, stands for calendar, will give you the current month. Let's experience it. Date. Yes, you're getting the current date. August 19th with some timestamp. Cal will show you the current month. Current month is August 2020. You're getting the current month. So date command will give you the current date. Cal command will give you the current month. That's fine. Okay. Understanding the permissions is very, very important. Understanding the permissions is very, very important. What do you mean by understanding the permissions? Look at this. ls will show you a list of all the files. Just a simple list. But if you want to see more information about the files, you know we have an option ls-l will give you more information. In this more information, you can also see the permissions. These are all permissions of a file. These are the permissions of a file directory. Okay. In this result of the command, we already have discussed about the importance of the first character. Gauri Raj, we already have discussed the importance of the first character, isn't it? If the first character is a D, it's a directory. If the first character is hyphen, it's a file. We know that. Okay. Now let's try to understand the remaining set of characters. Hyphen, after hyphen, how many characters we have? Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 characters. Total 10 characters. First character importance is to know whether it's a file or a directory. Remaining 9 characters provides the permissions of the file or a directory. Will provide the information about the permissions of a file or a directory. Next point. A file or a directory can have 3 types of permissions: read, write, execute. A file can have 3 types of permissions: read, write, execute. Read is represented with letter R. Write is represented, yes, most of you have know this, W, and execute is represented with letter X. A file or a directory can have 3 types of permissions: read, write, execute, and you also know the alphabetical notation. R for read, W for write, X for execute. Okay. Okay. So you know the alphabetical representation of the permissions. Next point. We have this total 9 characters, isn't it? Let's try to understand what are these 9 characters. First 3 characters will provide the permissions, will provide the information about the permissions of owner of the file. First 3 characters belongs to owner. Next 3 characters represent the permissions given to group. These permissions will help you to provide the information what owner can do. These 3 characters will give you the information about what group we can do. Next 3 characters will represent what others can do. So current user is Ubuntu, right? Current user is Ubuntu. When I create a file now, the owner is nothing but Ubuntu. So if a user can be owner, collection of users can be a group. How to create a group, we don't need to worry about this. Remember, collection of users can be formed as a group. Rest of other users who are not users but not owner but not belonging to group are called as other users. So total 9 characters. Let us try to understand the permission for the file F1, which we have. Please observe. Try to understand the representation. File F1, owner can read, because first 3 characters are for owner, right? Owner can read, owner can write the information, owner cannot execute the file. Clear? Permissions what owner can do. What others can do? Others can read, others can write, others cannot, sorry, not others, group. Group users can read, write, cannot execute. Others can read, others cannot write, cannot execute. Like this, you can know the permissions for a owner, permissions for group, permissions for others. 3 plus 3 plus 3, total 9 characters. Total 9 characters. Clear, Fayaz? Understanding the permissions?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Perfect. Any questions, Karthik?
No questions, sir. It's clear.
Okay.
Sir, Rajendra
Yes.
here. So execution is what exactly we are doing here? What kind of execution we share?
Some files can be executed. Let's say if you want to install some packages, you need to run some files. Executing is nothing but running files. Okay. Yes, Vikas.
Sir, how do we modify the permission?
We'll see now. Modifying the
Okay.
permissions, we'll see now.
Sunil, what is group?
First, collection of users. Let's say you have 100 users.
Can put all the users in one group, right?
Let's say in Linux we have 100 users. Like Ubuntu is one user.
Okay,
Root is
okay.
one user. You can create new users.
Okay, we can group all these users.
Not all. It's optional. 10 users you can make it as one group, and that.
Okay, okay.
You permit
Okay,
that group.
okay, Sunil.
Yeah. And remaining 90 users will be others, something like that. You can understand.
Okay.
So where we can see the user group, please, sir? If we have some user group already there. Sorry.
We have a password file. In that password, there is a file called password file. In that password file, we can see list of all the users and all those. We'll see soon.
Okay.
Okay. So now you understood the 9 characters. A file can have 3 types of permissions and the 3 types of users, owner, group, and others. Fine. So you know now understand the permissions. Once we are clear understanding the permissions, then next step is to change the permissions. If required, we should be in a position to change the permissions of a file. If required, we should be in a position to change the permissions of the file. Understanding the permissions. Not only understanding the permissions, we also learn now how can we change the permissions. We have a command called chmod. Is a command, change mode. Is a command which helps you to change the permissions. Okay. Now, before learning how to change the permissions, you also should know we have 3 types of permissions. We have 3 types of permissions, isn't it, Gopi? One is read, the other one is write, the other one is execute. Am I right, Gopi?
Yeah.
Read is represented with the letter R, and it has a numerical notation called 4. Sorry, not 4, 3. No, sorry, 4. I think so, right? Yes. Write is have a number 2. Execute number 1. Numerical notation. Read has a numerical representation called 4. Write has a numerical representation 2. Execute is having a numerical representation 1. Now, question to Vikas. Vikas, with respect to the file F1, please try to understand. With respect to file F1, I want to know the information about permissions given to owner. Don't worry about group and others. I want to know the information about the permissions given to owner. Now tell me, owner can
Read and write.
Right. Owner can read and write. Owner cannot
Execute.
Owner is having only 2 permissions. Read, write. I want to give all permissions to owner. All permissions is nothing but read plus write plus execute. If you want to provide all permissions, then you need to add these numbers 4 plus 2 plus 1. So number is 7. 7 represents all permissions. Vikas, did you understand numerical notation?
Yep.
7 obviously is nothing but read plus write plus execute.
Yes.
Vikas, what does 1 represent?
Execute.
2 reference,
Write.
3 reference,
Nothing.
7 reference,
Oh,
7
someone
reference,
is re
7 reference, all permissions.
yeah.
3 reference, 2 plus 1,
Write and execute. Yeah.
4 reference,
Read.
5 reference,
Read and execute.
6,
Read and write.
7,
All.
all. So you have importance for every number, 1 to 7.
Yeah.
Using these combinations, you can play with the permissions. Now, try to understand everybody. For the file F1, I want to disturb the permissions of owner. I don't want to disturb group and others. I just want to change permissions of owner. Right now, owner is having 2 permissions. I want to give all the 3 permissions. All the 3 represents what? Number 7. chmod, change mode. As I want to give all the permissions to owner, I use the number 7. Next. Are we planning to, Vikas, are you planning to disturb the permissions for group?
No.
No, we are not planning to disturb the permissions of the group. Group is currently having what permissions?
Read and write.
Read and write is nothing but what number?
6.
So let's maintain the same permissions. Are you planning to disturb the permissions of others?
No.
No. So let's maintain the same permissions. R represents what?
Read 4.
4. For the file, which file you are working with?
F1.
Command executed. ls-l. Previously, owner is having only read write. Now owner is having read write execute all the 3 permissions, and we have not disturbed the group. We have not disturbed others. I have successfully changed the permissions using this numerical notation. Clear
Understood.
about this example? 1 minute.
Yes.
Clear about this example, Imran? Very important. First example, is it clear? Any questions in the understanding the first example of this command?
Sunil, can you explain me once again? I couldn't hear before because of the network thing. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. So did you understand what we are planning to do? Actually, we were planning to, Sandhya, we were planning to change the permissions of a file F1.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Currently, and you also know the numerical notation about read, write, execute, 4 to 1.
Yes.
And you know the importance of each and every letter, each and every number. Isn't it, Sandhya?
Yes.
What is the importance of 5?
5 is read and write.
What 5 is nothing but read and write is 4 plus
Read
2.
and execute. Sorry, read and execute.
Read and execute. So you now know importance of every number.
Yes,
okay?
yes. Yeah.
Now, Sandhya, now our plan is to change the permissions of the owner. Owner is having only read and write. I want to give all the permissions. Read plus write plus execute. Read plus write plus execute is what number?
7.
7. So that's the reason I have used the command 7.
Okay.
For the owner. Group I don't want to disturb. Current permissions are read and write. Read and write is nothing but 4 plus 2.
Okay, okay, fine, understood.
And I want to maintain the same numbers. I have only changed the permissions of.
Okay, fine. So each digit represents the what is it? User
Combination of permissions.
Okay, fine.
Yes. Isn't it? Yes.
Thank you.
Akhil, can you hear me?
Yeah, Sunil.
I write a command. Can you understand what this command will do? Change mode.
Okay.
777 for the file F1.
Here, everyone will get read, write, and execute. Access to both, everyone.
Owner can read, write, execute. Group can read, write,
Owner,
execute.
group.
Others can also read, write,
Yes.
execute. Shall we confirm ls-l? Okay.
Yes.
Read, write, execute, read. Full permissions to all the users.
Yes.
Got it?
Yeah. Sunil, here group means like owner belongs to that particular group, or
By default, owner belongs to group. We have other users also. You can have other users also. Okay.
okay.
I have one more command. Okay.
Hmm.
Try to understand this. What does that mean?
7.
Zero reference, no permissions.
Okay.
Others won't have any privileges.
Zero reference, no permissions. If every number is having one number, zero is nothing but no permissions. Okay. Now, Akhil, understand what this command will do.
Owner and group will get all the permissions, and other users won't have any authentication or read or write or execute.
No permissions.
Yeah.
Owner full permissions, group full permissions, hyphen, hyphen, hyphen stands for others, no permissions. Are you able to add the permissions? Are you able to remove the permissions? Satyam, am I right? Are you able to add the permissions? Are you able to remove the permissions?
Yes.
You are able to do it. Yes. So using what? This numerical notation combination 4 to 1. Satyam, tell me what this command will do. 7, 4, 1.
For the owner, they will get the full permission, and
Full
for
permissions.
group,
4 is nothing but
4 is read
4
and
is nothing
execute.
but read. No, 4 is only
Read and
read.
execute. Okay, sorry. 4 is only read.
4 is only read.
And
one
others
is
will be one as execute. Okay. Yes, sir.
owner full permissions, right? Others, sorry, group 4 is nothing but
Group
read
will be
permission.
read.
Others only
Yes, sir.
execute permission. Yes.
Yes.
Satyam, are you able to add the permissions and are you able to remove the permissions, whichever you want? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So
sir.
using the what command? Change mode. Simple, na?
Change
4
mode.
plus 4, 2,
Yes, sir.
1. Simple calculation. Is it difficult, Satyam?
No,
Not
sir.
at all.
Not.
Not at all. Not at all. Zero reference, no permissions. If you want to give only few permissions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you want, you can do it. Like this, you can now change the permissions of the file. You can now change the permissions of the file by using change mode command. Change mode command is used to change the permissions of the file. Same thing with directories also. Need not be files. Let's do with directory D1. Directory is having some existing permissions. So that directory is almost having full permissions for owner, full permissions for group, and few permissions for others. So let's work out with the same command. So not only for files, it also works with what's the name of the directory? D1. Yes, we have modified the permissions. You can work with files, you can work with permissions. So remember, very important, changing the permissions is frequently used. Generally, owner can do it. Generally, owner can have an option to change the permissions. If you want others to do it, like others can also do it if you have the sudo keyword. So files or directories can have 3 types of permissions: read, write, execute. Read represents with 4, write for 2, and execute for 1. Using these combinations, you can provide whatever the permissions you want. This is called as numerical notation. This is called as what notation? Numerical notation. Numerical notation. Changing the permissions using numbers. There's one more notation called alphabetical notation. There's other way of changing the files by using alphabets, by using symbols plus minus equal to. Alphabetical notation I don't want to start now. I want to start the alphabetical notation in our tomorrow's class. So this is our plan for our today's session. So you now know dealing with files, dealing with permissions, hidden files, hidden directories, timestamps, importance of sudo. Most important is understanding the permissions, and now you're in a position to change the permissions if required for a particular file or a directory. Please practice whatever we are learning, and remember, after practicing, for who are new to AWS, what you need to do, don't sign out of AWS. After practicing, what you need to do, first terminate the connection. So let's go practice. One more time, click on exit. Terminate the terminal. Stop the mission. After practicing, please stop the mission. Once your mission is stopped, then you need to sign out of AWS accounts. Clear about this? Yes. So this session is also uploaded as usual into the Google Drive. You can access it. Any questions, Kailash? Please join at the right time, 6 a.m. as right time, so that we'll start at right. Yes, Kailash, any questions?
No, sir, please.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Any questions, Kailash? Okay, thank you all. I hope you have enjoyed today's session. Tomorrow's session important because we are learning the second way of changing the permissions, that's called as an alphabetical notation. And we'll discuss about working with packages. Linux is a combination of packages. Sometimes packages are not available, then you need to learn how can we install additional packages by using apt repository. So what is apt repository? What do you mean by packages not available? In case if the package is not available, how can we install packages? So tomorrow we'll be dealing with package management in Linux by using the apt repository. Probably that will be the last session, and we also discuss about creating the file using the VI editor. We know only two ways of creating the file, by using cat command, by using touch command. We'll also learn the third way by using VI editor. With that, we'll be closing the Linux, and tomorrow probably we'll have introduction to first tool of DevOps, that's called as Git. Okay, stay tuned, and thank you very much. Thank you one and all, Bharat, Chanakya, Fayaz, Gauri, okay, Rajendra, Rekha, Santosh. Thank you all. See you tomorrow. Thank you, Ananya. Thank you one and all. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, Rajendra.
Neil, one doubt.
Thank you, Dinesh. Yes.
Like everything, I mean, like it will be shared in Google Drive, right? That's
Yes,
a notes and
shared in Google Drive day to day.
okay. So running notes, recordings, everything.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you, sir.